Hey, everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between the Mexico City Diablos and the Baltimore Ravens. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor and M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Mexico City Diablos and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in pretty desperate here for a win as they've started the year 0-5.
And it seems way too early to start talking about hot seats. But guess what? When a team is 0-5, people start wondering about their jobs.
Meanwhile, from Mexico City, our visitors, they've got all W's on the ledger so far, a perfect 6-0.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this season, but they're showing everyone early on that they intend to be there in the end.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. So here come the Ravens now, ready to get the football for the first time. They'll have Lamar Jackson calling the shots, the former Heisman Trophy winner from Louisville.
And this is a game for grit, determination, and somehow finding a way not to panic. What a horrible start for them. I mean, they haven't won a game yet. So now, as a quarterback, you're not just talking to your team. You've got to demonstrate to them what they need to do to win. He's got to be the leader by how he plays.
All right, here we go.
They go play action here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
A first carry now for Caleb Dixon. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. That one good for 10 yards. And that's going to bring up the third down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
On third down, Jackson. And incomplete here on third down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. So on fourth down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And we get a glance here at their leader, the man who will be calling the plays under center.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
On second down, Peterson. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
First down, here's the run with Peterson. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And here are the Raven defensive starters.
Linebackers still often control defenses, and C.J. Mosley does exactly that for his. A Pro Bowler 3 of his first 4 years. Not only can he run and hit, he diagnoses plays so well, feels them out, and makes sure his team is organized and in the right spot on each and every snap.
They run the counter now. It's Peterson. Peterson a first down and more. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. A big run there. 29 yards and a first. If you're an Adrian Peterson fan, that's the sign that you want to see right there on the other end. They got to learn to get him down, or this could be a long one.
And it's also the sign that his team wanted to see. Him making that type of a run, having a force and an impact on the game that early, that really demoralizes the defense because they realize it could be a long game trying to get him on the ground.
Pretty nice, aggressive run there before being brought down just inside of the 30. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Here we go.
Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Out to the right here to Wilson. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. The numbers for him from a week ago: 7 catches, 103 in the yardage department.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. They'll be brought down at the 21 after a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
They're going to look to throw. He's got Wilson, middle of the field. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4.
Here we go now.
They'll set up a throw. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Here they go backwards to the 13-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Now back to throw. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll look to throw here. And it's caught. Touchdown. In for the score. And his guys have taken a first-quarter lead. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
Cody Parkey is on now for the point after. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So that drive, 12 plays in length. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. The drive begins with a run by Dixon. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with. They have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team would say, hey, yeah, we called him the disruptor. And that's carrying forward again.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
And he makes it all the way down to the 31.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10.
No. Check. Patriots. Patriots.
Here's a carry now for Mike Gillisley. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. So add that tackle for a loss to the 2 that he had a week ago.
And you know what he's doing right now?
Smiling?
Yeah, definitely doing that. But he's also patting his guys on the back, his defensive front, because they're keeping him clean, meaning no one's getting to him as a blocker. He's able to run to the football, and the plays he's making, he's spilling them in the offensive backfield.
Play action. It's Jackson. Dancing to his left. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still 4th down.
I liked his effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the 1st down. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the turn.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the #1 thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action, now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kept it on the ground. What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Hurry up, here we go.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now a first carry for their fullback. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
I know a lot of times we like to put players in certain boxes. He does this and he does that. But this guy, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not just a lead blocker or a guy who protects the passer. Handing the ball, he might want to get out of the way.
Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he rifles one incomplete. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
Yeah, really turned it loose, didn't he? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Here we go now.
And they'll run it here. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Looking to throw. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 30.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
Set. Green.
They'll drop to throw. And he's got it. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. So we've played 1 quarter here on a Monday night. 7-3 the score. We're back to Baltimore after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Mexico City football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead.
Well, Brandon, he just followed his nose, and his nose took him to the end zone. But how about the big guys up front? Give him at least a stalemate in order to find that space.
Yeah, the O-line won the battle in the trenches there, didn't they? Now Parkey for the extra point. Parkey adds the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Ravens offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. They go play action with Jackson. It's brought in here by Willie Snead. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Well, he leads the NFL in interceptions and nearly added to that total.
Got his hand on it, couldn't quite corral it. It's been a Pro Bowl-type season for him, and the term ball hawk really comes into play, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like that one a lot because teams want to avoid that type of a player, but sometimes you just can't. He just knows where the ball is.
On second down, it's Dixon. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And he's going to be hit and driven into the turf. Joey Bosa coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Here's Sam Cook now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ended up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
Now let's go!
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This time they face a 3rd and 2. He'll drop to throw. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a 1st down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th.
And that's a crusher right there. Had his man open for a 1st down, threw a fastball when that wasn't necessary, incomplete pass. When are these quarterbacks going to learn? You don't get extra points for how hard you throw the football.
So on 4th down, here's Matt Darr to kick it away. Back deep to return is Cyrus Jones. Offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of 1st downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 1st downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
They'll start the drive with Dixon, and he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Here's Gillisley. And able to get it across the 10 to the 15. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a 1st down.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a 2 tight end set. It's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the 2 tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side.
Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line.
That was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon.
All right, here we go. Green, 30.
Jackson now down around his goal line. That is incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
The Ravens on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 19. Jackson from the shotgun. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. A nice job of bringing that in, but why was he so close to the sideline there? They had all kinds of room in the flat.
A little bit of a lack of coordination between him and the quarterback, because both of them should have seen that room that was available, that space. Stop your route a little bit shorter, put it on him, and let him turn and get upfield.
And here now the offense heading back out there. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the #3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go now.
And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And shoves him off at the 20. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the 2nd half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Let's go. Green.
Back to throw now on 1st down. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Well, there's times when you see these catches that are made, and we just know the guys playing it are really wishing for college rules. Only need that one foot down instead of 2. It's awfully difficult on the sideline, isn't it?
And the coach has decided to challenge this play. He has tossed down the red flag.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here, 3rd and 14. the play fake. He'll look to throw. Going for it all. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Eric Weddle.
Well, Brandon, there's no question who they're going to look to on 3rd and long, but you can bet this defense knows that as well, so they get him blanketed downfield. And this ball winds up being intercepted.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try to loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now Jackson on 2nd down. He gets this one to Michael Crabtree. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. First catch of the game for Crabtree. It's a 1st down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll run with Gillisley. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence, because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
That one good for 13 and a Raven 1st down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Now let's go.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. And he will find his man on the outside. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 11 more on that one, and another 1st down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a 1st down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. This is Gillisley. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Andrews. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here we go.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
3rd and 1, who you going to call? Not the scat back. You go with the big man. Hand him the ball and let him get upfield and pick up a 1st down.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Play action. Now Jackson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it'll be a turnover. This is going the other way. A minute 57 to go in this 1st half. We're back to Baltimore after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our 1st half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to try and go deep again. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion. Kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36.
Footing's definitely going to be an issue because it's tough to make those quick cuts that you're used to making on a soggy track. In fact, the Hall of Fame runner once told me, cut on your heels in this type of weather. Gives you better balance.
All right, here we go.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. He finds his man. It's Austin. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. And they'll go on the ground. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play.
Hurry up, here we go.
He'll look to throw. Going up top. And it's caught. Touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And his guys are going to add on to their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Parkey with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. 5 plays there on that drive. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. As the offense takes the field, we zero in on Lamar Jackson. He's playing pretty well. I don't think it's necessarily him changing up something he's doing, but that O-line, they've got to protect him better.
They do. They've got to make sure that they give him more than enough time in order to find targets downfield. And sometimes what happens when these things are going on is that the field general will step up and say, hey, that's on me, guys. I didn't get rid of it fast enough. Anything to try and relax them a little bit and take some pressure off, because they do know that they are trying.
Yeah, well, we've seen the 4 sacks so far in this contest. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So we are at halftime here on a Monday night as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up north at MetLife Stadium over in New Jersey, where you see the final score there. Kyle Lauletta, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And they were winners in their ball game over the visiting Dallas Cowboys. T.J. Jones, a strong performance there. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Check on the Patriots. And they were winners in their ball game as they were able to handle the visiting New York Jets. Teddy Bridgewater, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. So here they come, the road team now getting the football first to start this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. The third quarter starts with a run by Peterson. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Space to maneuver at the 40. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. As they finally wrangle him in at the 48. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Handoff comes to Peterson. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Back to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Fields. And he's got this down to the 35. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
And on the ground they go with a running back. Touchdown! A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And oh, it's blocked. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
On third down, Jackson steps away to his left. He can run for it, and he will. The Ravens get a new set of downs, give him 17 on that pickup.
Sometimes guys get locked into such a groove. What do we call it? The game's slowing down. They see everything happening almost in slow motion. They see the lanes develop. I feel like he's right there.
Well, and you want this from your leader, right? With this deficit, this stage of the game, second half, no quitting here.
0.
They go play action here on first down. Rolling to his right. And avoids the contact by sliding. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier in this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
You know they wanted, you know they expected. They needed him to be sharp coming out after the half. Unfortunately, he's missed his first 3 throws. I wonder if he got out late and missed his warm-up time.
The whole team did come out a little bit later than usual. I don't know, maybe there's something to that.
Must have been a heck of a halftime speech.
Yeah, maybe just trying to rally the troops back from this deficit.
Hurry up, here we go.
Handoff for Dixon. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. To throw on third down, Jackson. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And they'll run it here. And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They'll look to throw. Over the middle to Beckham. And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. The quick slant, good for a first down, a gain of 12. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage, if he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Here we go now. Green, 39. Green.
On the give, this is their fullback. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
And that was a good collision right there. And I know this as a former defender. If you're playing linebacker, you're going through a checklist on every play on who you think's going to get the ball, where you think the ball's going to go. Rarely do you expect the fullback position to get it. And on that play, he did. So you got to steel yourself at that point because the contact is going to be strong.
They're going to look to throw. Going right side here, and that's complete. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they'll go with a ground attack here. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Looking to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
I think it's pretty safe to say that when you're up 3 touchdowns, the last thing you want to do is hang one up there and put it in jeopardy and possibly get it intercepted. You got a nice lead. You should be able to protect it. But if you get careless with the football, look out.
Here we go.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to find his man. That's Tavon Austin. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Marlon Humphrey with the tackle defensively.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll set up to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A good pickup there, a 22. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Back to the ground. This time it's Peterson. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. A good run as he works his way for 9 that time, and it'll leave him with a third and just a few inches. They'll run it. Here's Peterson. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn 1 here in this third quarter. Now a handoff looking right. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He almost had it. The big D lineman nearly had an interception. Instead, it falls down incomplete.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. And this offense on third down today, can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and goal. Back to throw here. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks for those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Parkey now following the made field goal to kick this one off. Fielded about a yard deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson, and he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Hey, set! Blue 90! Blue 90!
Now Gillisley. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Set! 319!
On first down, they go with Dixon. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 2nd and 12.
Set! Green 39!
They stay on the ground with Dixon. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
3rd and 15 here after the 1st and 2nd down plays went in the wrong direction. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. 3rd and 15 here after the 1st and 2nd down plays went in the wrong direction.
Set! 319!
From the gun, Jackson. And that is incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
Here we go now. Blue 90! Blue 90!
Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. And this is going to be incomplete. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
They give it to Peterson. And they're running right through it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Over the middle here to Wilson. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And a short pickup there down to about the 9. He could muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
I know the game's not over, but there's got to be a sense of satisfaction right now for the guy carrying the football a bunch today. 99 yards, and he has enough time to go over the century mark.
Well, you got to give it to him again, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You're not worried about losing yardage here. You're not worried about any of that. You just want to get him to the promised land for every runner. 100 yards or more in a game.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And it's caught. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the first down as he's tackled at the 2. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, Tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Here we go.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. So stuffed from the 2. Now what?
You know me pretty well. What do you think I want here?
Play action?
Definitely. Let him get outside and create. And if he has to run it, he has a little bit more space.
They'll set up a throw. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line.
When you're this close to the goal line, you've got to expect pressure from the defense. So the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
A lot of scrimmage at the 4. Here's 3rd and goal.
Here we go. Green, 39.
They'll drop to throw. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. In for the score. And this offense is running away with this one. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And the Ravens taking the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say, maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that. Yeah,
that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Jackson now. And a quick throw here that's complete. They'll get a couple yards on that one, and that'll make this a 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Now Parkey for the extra point. Parkey adds the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 21.
4 down. All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now flags come in. I think one of the Ravens got going a little early.
False start, offense.
Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call
first down
was for him?
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
4 down. All right, here we go.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
All right, here we go. Green, 30.
Jackson from the shotgun. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Connor Barwin coming hard from that linebacker spot. He drops him for a loss of 11.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And they'll mark him down right around the 9, just shy of the 10. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
Here's Sam Cook now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He'll take it at the 42. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. Well, this ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But, you know, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction, because otherwise we're going to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. That gets him into a 3rd and 1 situation.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
They'll give to the fullback on the dive. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I know this game's winding down and people are getting tired, and that's when you really want a big body guy running the football. But I have to tell you, watching him run it, I wonder why they don't use him more earlier in the game.
Yeah, those bigger guys here late in the game, you're trying to protect the lead, usually not as fumble prone either.
No, that is so true, because they are taught, take care of the ball as you surge forward, and you often see them with both hands wrapped around it when they go through the line.
A 10th carry now for Peterson. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now.
Here we go now. Green.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Hey, we got 3 down.
Now a play fake here on first down. And this is caught at the 8. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 18 yards there, and it'll be a first and goal. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Now back to throw. And he will take it in for the touchdown. As his guys are in for 6. And this offense continues to pour it on.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone. This guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Now Parkey for the extra point. Parkey with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working and call more of that.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that, but a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in the diving, but they would split too easily in the course of a game. Then the glove manufacturers got smart and started adding to it, and here we are today.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
Looked at me like they adopted what my kindergarten teacher always said. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And finally, able to hold him in check. He'd been carving him up running the ball.
That's the first time I think I've seen where the coverage was good downfield and they accounted for him and stopped him for a short pickup.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big adjustment, but much more emphasis on making sure they knew where he was when he decided to take off and go.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. The Ravens on third down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Go. Green 39. Green 39.
On third down, Jackson. A right side catch by Crabtree. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to make it fourth down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And as a result, possession switches hands. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Throw left side complete. It's Fields. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
So the offense took. The timeout looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. A try here for the extra point. The point after is good, and that will extend this big lead. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Well, once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. That one was intended for John Brown. And it's 3rd down. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
10 yards there, good enough for a Raven first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That right now That's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Now let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
On second down, here's Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 49. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent. And now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead. It'll be their third and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. They run again on first down. Peterson fighting his way down to about the 35-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Well, Charles, the forecast called for rain throughout the entire game, and we got rain throughout the entire game. But these two teams, they had fun getting dirty out there. They love the slop.
Did you trust the forecast ahead of time? Are you one of those guys that's skeptical about it, or did you trust it?
But when I saw just a big blob of green on the radar, I said, okay, let's trust.
Yeah, and that's why I'm glad you took my advice. Got your notes laminated, because, you know, open air booth, that rain can affect us as well, although not as much as the guys on the field. But let's face it, it's kind of fun to watch these types of games, isn't it?
It is. By the way, how impressive is it that you travel with a laminator? I didn't even know there was a portable laminator.
The things that you learn.